You know, a movie that has a bunch of gargoyles flying around in it is gonna provoke me to think one thing. Where's my Gargoyles movie? Seriously, Goliath, Hudson, Brooklyn, Broadway, Lexington, all of them, where are they? I'd love to see them on the big screen. I Frankenstein. So I Frankenstein stars Aaron Eckhart. He plays Frankenstein's monster, and now he's smack middle in between a war between gargoyles and demons. Not werewolves and vampires, because that's been done before. This is gargoyles and demons. And that's it. Yeah, I saw a trailer for this movie and I was like, hey, guess what looks terrible? That. More or less, this movie's messy from the start. In the messiest, sloppiest ass way possible, Aaron Eckhart's doing a voiceover and he's explaining what happened between him and his creator. And a couple of demons jump him out of nowhere because they're like, hey, what are you doing in this parts, boy? Then more or less, he just gets wrapped up in this war. Is I Frankenstein good? That is the question. No, it's not. It's guilty pleasure schlock. Pleasure is an operative word in it, though. Then again, so it's guilty. I'm not gonna lie, there were a couple things in this movie I did enjoy. This movie has enjoyment to be found in it. In that guilty pleasure kind of way, like I said. I mean, Aaron Eckhart tries his best. He acts his ass off. Overacts, you bet. The point is, you can tell he's like, I gotta make this movie good. It's in my hands. The chick from the shitty seasons of Dexter, she's not gonna do it. No, it's all me. Yeah, I know she was in Chuck too. Yeah, I know. Bill Nye plays the leader of the demons. He's just a really bad guy, and he's the same guy he is in everything like this. He's just a weird old man who talks like this, like he has a speech impediment of some kind. And that's just what he's like, is what he does. Among the sloppy mess that is the plot in this movie, the premise is simple enough to where you're like, I can find enjoyment in it because it is good versus evil and Frankenstein's in the middle. Or Frankenstein's monster, who he's called Frankenstein a couple times, which doesn't make any sense because he's not Frankenstein, he's Frankenstein's monster. And what I did like is him, or at least the premise of him, the concept of him. I like the fact that there is this big war going on and he is a wild card. He doesn't have an allegiance. He's like, I don't care about your war. I care about me because of all the things in the world. The thing that has never disappointed me is me. I like characters like that, so I found enjoyment in his character somewhere in this messy script. I mean, Aaron Eckhart in this movie is supposed to be Frankenstein's monster, so you think he'd look a bit messed up, but you look at him, you're like, ah, you're an attractive dude with some scars. There's even a scene where he doesn't have a shirt on, and you're like, you look like Ryan Gosling with some stitches. He was too symmetrical. I'm just saying it would have been cool to see different parts of his body look different. Maybe one arm is more muscular than the other arm's a bit skinnier. Maybe his shoulders are lopsided or some shit. It would have been cool to see some variety from a guy made up of variety. This movie does have cool action sequences among action sequences that have a lot of shitty CGI. Gargoyles grabbing demons and tearing them in half in the sky. Demons cracking gargoyles over the heads and killing them. Doesn't change the fact that this movie is ultimately like Van Helsing. Actually, from what I remember of Van Helsing, I saw it once in theaters, the premise is pretty identical. It's gonna go down like this. A collection of teenagers throughout the world are gonna watch this movie. Like I did when I watched Street Fighter for the first time, and they're gonna memorize every line in this movie for some stupid reason. The brain is just gonna collect it like I have with Street Fighter. It's an anomaly. I don't know how I know all the lines in that movie, but I do. And it's gonna be that guilty pleasure movie where all their friends look at them, they're like, you're so dumb for knowing that movie. But throughout their lives into their adulthood, they can pop the movie on and be like, ah, guilty pleasure movie. That's this movie. That's I Frankenstein. I firmly believe guilty pleasure movies have a place among us in the cinematic world. I think this movie had marketing genius behind it because they were like, let's come out in the latter third of the month of January. So after everyone has been digesting week after week of just continual cinematic diarrhea, I Frankenstein comes out. It's suddenly not as bad as you thought it was gonna be. It's still bad though, but comparatively not the worst. So I Frankenstein takes its place among Street Fighter, Constantine, movies like that on the mantle of guilty pleasure movie. Which means I Frankenstein would probably be good if you're drunk. Yeah, now it's a party. Why do people call him Frankenstein? It's not even his name in the movie. Frankenstein was his dad. I know, drunk Jeremy. I get it. So guilty pleasure movie. What is your guilty pleasure movie? I had the balls to tell you mine. That's mine. Whatever it is, comment below. Let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.